Are you ready to grind? It's Sports 56 Grind Time with Peter Edmiston and Anthony Zane. Now, here's Peter and Anthony.
Well. Welcome in. It's a Thursday, y'all.
Yep.
And the mood is a little different.
Man, my energy high today. I don't know what's going on with me, but it's all good.
Your energy is high?
Yep. Ford! Let's get it. It's time for the Jack Pirtle's chicken run.
Ford!
God forbid I get up and do a chicken dance, a fried chicken dance to the Tiger game. You know how offended I'd be if they put me on screen to it. Yeah, same. Dance, do the chicken dance. For the rich upper echelon of Memphis. What in the world, bro? Who sat in the room and thought that was dope?
Dance for your chicken. I mean, where are we at? Where are we at here on this one, folks?
Why don't they just put like a cup of gravy on the screen, like, you know, to superimpose like the digital. Do a cup of gravy and let me just dunk my whole body in.
It can't be any worse than the ill-fated and one-time only hand sanitizer cam that was the Bucks game.
You say hand sanitizer cam?
Look it up on YouTube, man.
Yeah, Google hand sanitizer cam.
Yeah, the Charlotte game, wasn't it? Hornets game?
I think it was the Bucks against
Bucks,
somebody.
the Bucks,
It was the Bucks.
The Bucks, yeah.
Yeah. Grand opening, grand closing
Yeah,
on that
man.
particular situation.
It's time for the Jack Pirtle. They don't call them Jack Pirtles. It's time for the Pirtles chicken dance. Hell, my black ass look like doing the chicken dance in front of the upper echelon of Memphis in Tiger game.
Oh, man.
Staley Cates and them. And what's the dude's name who owns Baker Barley? Yeah, there you go. Dance for that free two-piece. What in the world? What in the world, bro? 4? A two-piece?
We're doing our best. We're doing our best here because it's tough. It's tough.
Man, we just trying to find some joy, man.
It's tough out here. It's tough. We got a lot to talk about. Obviously, we're going to talk about Tigers and we're going to talk about the Grizzlies, though. They're back in action tonight, looking for win number 11 in a row.
Woo!
Ja Morant, as it stands right now, as a starter
in
the All-Star game. Second
What I say?
in the Western Conference.
What did I say, Peter? What did I say on these very airways yesterday? I said, do not be surprised if Ja has jumped Luka tomorrow. Did I say that?
I mean, I think we all thought.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't. No, you didn't.
Yeah, I would have been surprised if he had.
No, look, he's got the international. Being a European diplomat.
Yeah, the man, we just talked about it. The guy, his team's won 10 in a row. He's been on every highlight. He's had countless highlights. 2 straight Player of the Weeks. If that doesn't push you past Luka, who looks like he's been enjoying some of that Pirtles gravy, then nothing will.
Ja is a native Memphian. The whole South Memphis, the whole 38106, everybody's supporting Ja. But you talk about voting against a dude who's got a whole nation behind him.
Yeah, but the nation of Slovenia is not big.
Bro.
So I mean,
I'm not gonna go there.
That,
I'm not gonna go there, but it's more than the nation of Slovenia that's supporting their brother from the motherland. Come on now.
Well, that's true, but Slovenia. If you're talking about a whole nation that's behind you, Slovenia's got a population of 2.1 million, which is basically a little more than the Memphis Metro. So it ain't like the United States is behind this guy. So
man, I'm excited, bro. This is crazy, bro.
It's crazy.
Never
it's
in my
crazy.
life
We're gonna talk about it. We're gonna talk about it.
Come on, man.
Let's
go.
It is truly. You sent out you texted that or no, somebody tweeted to you the Thanos meme, and that's exactly what's happening there. Are the Grizzlies good? Is Ja Morant going to start the All-Star game?
Was
yes.
it worth it?
What did it cost you? What did it cost you? The Tigers.
It's so sad, man. I feel like I'm sold my soul, bro.
The finger snapped. That's right. The boom, and you see who's living and who's not living. After that, we're going to talk about it. Rob Fisher's going to join us later on in this hour. Coming up, hour number 2, a little later on. It'll be about 2:30 probably. Dustin Starr has got a little situation he's taking care of, so he's not going to be able to join us at 2, but he's going to be like 2:30, so somewhere in there. But we're going to talk to Dustin Starr as we do on every Thursday. You could join us on the AutoZone listener line. Get in the zone, AutoZone, 360-8255, 901-360-8255. You want to jump on in, text away, chat with us, all that. Let's get right into it, Same.
Kid, I don't even know what happened. What we talking about?
The 19% you left me with.
Man, you must thought I was playing yesterday. I don't even know what you're talking about.
I come in, Peter, with 19%. That's all I come in with.
19% what? What you talking about?
The confidence meter. 19%.
What we talking about?
The Tigers.
Confidence to do what?
The Grizzlies trading. Confidence to do what? The Grizzlies trading the jerseys in, kids' jerseys. That we talking about?
Hey,
that's a great. Awesome. It's a great promotion. Shout out.
Job being promotion. Second in All-Star vote. That what we talking. We have
Cam Reddish being traded.
Cam Reddish being traded. That's what you mean, right?
Talk about that.
I guess so.
Russell Westbrook having his worst week of his career.
That's in the news. NFL playoffs are coming.
Yeah.
That's what you mean, right?
Anything but, right?
What else you talking about? Because everything else is dead to me. You're dead to me.
Darren, we got to talk to him about this, I guess.
Y'all talk. I'm going to be over here doing whatever. I got a Black Panther shirt I got to work on right fast. I got a Jared Jackson Jr. Black Panther shirt. I got a
Black Panther.
Good. I caught that Black Panther. Okay.
Yeah, he put that out yesterday on Twitter. You think that joint ain't hot on the presses right now? Anyway.
You gonna put that Dollar Tree shirt out for me?
Dollar Tree. Look at this. Hey, if you say who Dollar Tree is, I'll put it
out. I can't do it.
Dollar Tree.
You'll figure it out soon enough.
I'll make it in green, whatever color you want. Tiger blue, whatever.
Right,
I got you. Dollar Tree.
All right, so let's get to it. It's bad, man. It's bad. I don't know. Trying our best here, but
bro, I'm not joking. You and Darren gonna talk about this, man. I'm done. Nothing more to say.
Well, then me and Darren have to talk about it.
Come on, let's go.
Talk about it. This is how it is, man. Tigers lose. That's all I can say.
That's it. That's it. Right. Tigers lose.
That's it.
All right.
Tigers lose. 74-64 to UCF, and never really looked like winning this game. Never really had any sort of a lead. Never really had any kind of control of the game at all. At one point, down 19. Had a lot of injuries, obviously, that have affected this team. Jaden Hardaway, the latest to be hurt. Lester Quinones may have a knee situation.
Who?
Lester.
How you down 19 in a game where the winning team only scored 74? How you get down 19 points?
When you score 19 fewer than they do.
Go ahead, bro. I'm sorry. I said I wouldn't even.
No, you owe us something though. How did Tyler look?
It was
Tyler the Creator.
It was 47 to 28 with 18 minutes to play in the game. That's how you've scored in the first 22 minutes of the game. You score 28 points. That's how you end up down 19 with Trey Tyler Harris with 15 points.
That's who it is. So that's who it is.
15 points. And yeah, I don't know, man. I can't even.
Then we got Cam Fetish that had to. That's Lester Quinones. Bro, I miss Fat Lester, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Fat Lester was way better than this version.
That's just. Guys, I'm really trying. We're trying to do the best you can here. This is a tough day, man. Tough situation.
It literally felt like somebody died last night. I ain't gonna lie.
It looked like it. Watching them play, that's what it looked like. I've never. I got so many things to kind of just.
so terrible. It's so terrible, man.
But it's hard to even do it because it's so depressing. It's like watching a funeral.
Yeah,
it's like a waking
feels like
funeral.
Mm-hmm.
It's just you're just sad, and and I'll tell you who's leading the way. The pastor of the whole thing is Anthony Penny Hardaway, who has some of the worst body language I've ever seen for a coach. For a team that's struggling, he looks like he just – at one point in the game, about 4 minutes left, Tigers down 8. Imani Bates just had a chance – just had an and one, I think, to try to cut into the lead. And he's like sitting on the coach on the scores table and just kind of goes – he just looks down at the box score like – yeah.
Looking at Nick Anderson. Yeah.
Like just like what are we doing? What are we doing down here? I mean, 1 minute left to play in the game. Tigers are still trying to hang on, and he spends the first 15 seconds of the timeout yelling at Josh Minot for something or other. I don't understand it, man. The body language is just from the very beginning. It's like he knows they're gonna lose, and he fully expects them to lose, and he's just waiting for that other shoe to drop, and his players follow suit. The body language on the floor is absolutely atrocious for this team. They play like they hate basketball, and they don't like playing, with each other. They don't like in comments after the game, kind of, Landers Nolly looked like he's about to go off on a bunch of folks and then just kind of held back at the last minute. You rely on Tyler Harris. I give Tyler Harris credit, man, but who would have thought at this point in time that you're going to rely on Tyler Harris, coming back as a walk-on to this team, 5'7" at most, 35 minutes, and he's basically your only outlet for offense. Yeah. And he is so nuclear bad on defense that it has tanked their entire defensive scheme. He plays 35 minutes. It's not a surprise that what was once a
top 5 defense in the
top
country.
5, top 1 defense last year has completely fallen apart. That's not a surprise. He is so small. It's not his fault. Yeah. But he's so small.
This guy's
so bad on defense.
Maybe that's what we should have been praying for.
I mean, at one point, this dude Mahan, maybe so. This dude Mahan, just sizes him up.
Yeah.
And just shoots right over him like he's not even there. Like he's not even there. It was like pretty good defense, and he just didn't matter. He just put it right over him.
And Peter, I'll say this while you're getting your bearings. While you're getting your bearings. When you first start hearing the rumblings about Tyler might be coming back, and then you saw that he was coming back, he was going to be a walk-on, I was like, man, that's going to be a heck of a story. And you start thinking about you didn't start thinking about what Tyler's not able to do, because we all know this Tyler can get buckets. He's never been a guy who couldn't get buckets. It never was a question of what he was able to do, but you really always question what he would be needed to do this season. You understand what I'm saying? Like, because you're like, okay, man, this team is extremely deep. He's got all these 5 stars. He's got 3 guys that are it was 4 guys back. Well, it was 3 guys, but it wasn't the same 3 guys. You got 4 guys. It's 4 guys total on this team that have gotten first round draft talk on this roster. And you're like, man, you got all these guys. You got this returning team coming back. It's like Tyler Harris is just going to be a heck of a story, a kid who gets to go along for the ride. I'm sure he just wants to be back in Memphis. He wants to be the top part of a top 10 team that's going to make a deep tournament run. What a story this Tyler Harris thing is going to be. But you didn't expect he would have to do anything to be a part of it.
Right.
You know what I mean? But now here we stand where, man, Tyler Harris might be the best, not just story, but might be the best player on this team as far as consistency. Like, bro, how did we get here, bro? And the sad thing is, I've been saying this for weeks. We're gonna look up in a couple of years, 2 years from now, you're going to see Jalen Duren playing for somebody in the NBA. You're going to see Imani Bates playing for somebody in the NBA. You're going to see Josh Minot playing for somebody in the NBA. And all you can sit back and say is, why in the crap couldn't we make that team work? And all the excuses won't mean anything. Because no matter what you're saying, that kid Bates, man, needs to be in high school, and he's just not ready. That kid just can't shoot. Dude's going to be in the NBA in 2 years. Promise you that. Jalen Duren, he's weak, man. Dude's going to be in the NBA next year. Josh Minot, he'll probably transfer. He'll be playing for somebody in the next, year or 2. And we'll look back at this team like, okay, why couldn't we get any of this to work with the kids we had on this team? Bro, we are a team that's in the middle of the AAC. Not the SEC, not the Big 12, not the ACC.
No.
We're just an average team in the AAC.
They're 5th.
How?
They're 5th in the AAC.
How?
with 9-6 on the year.
Can't win on the road. You lost to Murray State on your court on John Morant Day. John Morant would have been doing the gritty if he didn't have COVID. He would have been doing the gritty on the Tiger side.
And he wasn't even there. John Morant wasn't even there. He had COVID.
He
wasn't even inspired by Ja.
Can you imagine what it would have been like if Ja was there? Ja would have been dancing on the Tiger, hitting the gritty.
Oh.
Celebrating. 4? Would have been 4-0.
And this team has lost to the worst Power 5 team in all of America, the Georgia Bulldogs. They are the worst Power 5 team basically in the country.
I'm disgusted.
And this team has lost to them. It is – and the people – and I just don't even know that people care. I don't even know that people care that much. I think people are so just depressed and deflated. I don't even know that they're even they're heartbroken.
Hey man, I'm getting jokes off, but I'm just joking to hide the pain, man. I don't feel good about this. Darren, do you feel good about this?
Of course not. Like I said, all jokes aside, the rotation was shut down. This was exactly what we wanted.
That's what they wanted.
This is exactly what we wanted. 6, 7, no more than 8 players playing, and these are the results.
Peter, I cut on Greg and Eli this morning. I heard a caller, Melvin, my boy Melvin.
He was like, man, we just need bodies, man. We got guys out. I'm like, man, y'all just complain. Talking about we playing too many dudes.
Mm-hmm.
How many dudes you need to be South
Man,
Florida?
Listen. This all goes back.
Man, we ain't had Jaden Hardaway. Go ahead, bro.
I mean, again, who would have thought that losing Jaden Hardaway would have been a key part of this team? You're without Alex Lomax and Jaden Hardaway. Like, what?
The keys to your team.
Is this? I mean, again, DeAndre Williams is a big loss. Timberlake's a big loss, no question about it. But this, like Landers Nolly said, I said no disrespect, but this is the team we should be beating, and they should be beating them, and they weren't. But this goes back to the original sin. There's an original sin, as in the good book. There's that original sin, right? The original sin on this team is Penny Hardaway not being able and or not wanting to dispense with Alex Lomax as this team's point guard. This team, they started from the very beginning with the idea that this guy Lomax was going to be the guy, and from that decision, all these other decisions fell into place and fell where they were. Prioritizing him over other guys when it was clearly not right meant that now, without him, you don't have a point guard. You didn't try to push Imani Bates in that point guard role. You didn't try to push Earl Timberlake into that point guard role. You didn't try to push Tyler Harris even into that point guard role early in the season. And now you're in the middle of the season without Lomax and without a true point guard or even a semi-true point guard to actually make any of this stuff work. And so it's no surprise that you end up with a million turnovers and crazy passes everywhere, and scatter shot play. You all of this spun from that decision and from that determination at the beginning of the year in camp that they were good on the point guard situation and that they didn't need to do anything else, and that was the way it was going to go. It was foolish then, and it looks catastrophic now.
Yeah, man. You remember when Memphis was looking like Kennedy Chandler was going to Tennessee, and the narrative you heard from a lot of local media guys, especially the independent guys, was, well, Penny said he's done with the small point guards, right? That was the thing. Come on, bro. Alex Lomax and Tyler Harris have been probably your two.
Smallest 2 point guards in America.
Like that whole,
I just can't believe I just couldn't believe watching. I just couldn't believe
how bad this team is.
Watching that game. I just couldn't believe it, and just how not it was. It was just it was so to watch. You got Imani Bates and Jalen Duren, the two top 5 recruits. They're both playing.
Yes,
and it just looks like this, and it looks like this. Like, Imani Bates just looks like he's in his own head to like a crazy degree. Like at one point he had the ball just snatched out of his hands, just standing there by the UCF kid.
No, it was the intentional foul.
Just took the ball.
Yeah. It was not.
And then he did the intentional foul that And Jalen Duren can't get any touches. And he's getting shoved out of the way for offensive rebounds anyway. Like, I don't know. I just cannot believe
how bad they are.
It's turned into this. I just cannot believe it. And they just look like, and I go back again, the worst part of it to me is Penny just looks defeated. Like, he just doesn't look like he's interested in fighting back. He looks like he's given up on this season. Hey, listen, maybe I'm wrong.
No, you're right. You're definitely right.
But you can't tell me watching him, looking at him, listening to him, it just sounds like a guy who's making excuses and is ready to just go ahead and throw in the towel in this year and see what happens after this.
I'm gonna make a prediction. Bro.
He does it.
I'm gonna make a prediction. Whenever the IA is IARP. Is that right? Mm-hmm. Whenever that ruling comes out,
yeah, IARP.
Penny's gonna roll out with whatever that decision is.
Uh-oh.
That's my prediction. Well, that's what that's where I identify as a good opportunity if he wants to bail. Just bail then. And yeah.
And that's even sickening to hear because I just knew he would give you 10 years at least.
Man, I thought Penny would be here until he looks like John Chaney.
Yeah. Coach K-ish, yeah.
I don't see it. Yeah, I'm with you. I don't see. He doesn't look like he doesn't look like. I mean, he doesn't. This is not again. You know, he doesn't have to do this. It's not. He's not. He doesn't have to be a coach. He can be something else. Right. He can go sit and do nothing. He can go and be a TV analyst, or he can go and be a consultant, or he can just go and spend his money and just go have fun and whatever, or go be a high school coach again, or work with kids, whatever. Like whatever he wants to do, he could do it. He doesn't have to do this. Yeah. So.
And there are people. Remember, there were people saying, like I said, Penny needs to hire like real assistant coaches and not, Larry Brown. Then I got the kickback of, well, Larry Brown's not a real coach, but why ain't it working?
Are you right?
I was probably one working, of them, man? If he's a Hall of Fame coach and all these things like he is, and he's on Penny's sideline, if he's actually doing something, why ain't it working?
If he's your XO man,
why ain't it working then?
I'm with you.
Because he's not. He's just out there. And it looks cool.
Yeah. And it probably was really understandable when the Money-Base decommitted from Michigan State. But imagine him watching a top 10 Michigan State team win last night. Like,
imagine seeing Boogie Ellis play on the top 5 USC.
Boogie Ellis,
and they lost their first game of the season the other night. But we were convinced that Boogie Ellis, whatever.
Yeah. Boogie's a problem.
I'm about to have a meltdown again, man.
I did notice that Penny was sporting a new N95 with the 1 cent logo on.
Shut up.
So I'm not joking. After the game, he had an N95 with a 1 cent. Like he upgraded the mask game. So,
man,
he does have that going for him.
God, dog, bro, this is my hero, man. I'm watching this man go out like this. Come on, Penny, bro. God, no.
It's like watching Jerry Rice play with the Broncos, man. It's just like, this is.
Come on, man. He could have picked any wide receiver in America.
Texter on the AutoZone listener line, real fast, says, why everyone would not address the subject? Penny is an AAU coach. Does he know you can't save timeouts for the next game? He is not in control. Let Larry Brown help. I don't think Penny will listen. I don't know what y'all expect Larry Brown old ass to do.
I think you just answered it. Yeah, I think you just answered it.
I don't know what y'all expect.
Penny's shown.
But go ahead.
Penny's shown over the very beginning, from the very beginning of his reign here. Yeah. He's not listening to anybody.
That's the point I was about to make.
He doesn't listen to anybody. Larry Brown or whoever, it doesn't matter. Yeah, he's gone through assistants, like a lot of people go through underwear. Like it's just the next one.
Like cheap draws.
On to the next one. Bing, bang, boom, man.
Like Family Dollar draws. For real.
I'm out.
Just going
next one. Boom.
Because he's failed to hire a real assistant coach, man. Like go.
And they get sick of it. Other than Cody Toppert, and Cody's been here, and Cody has a, I think he does a lot of the
massage therapy,
video work, and all that stuff. But he's out here. But again, I don't know how much actual input Penny's taken from Cody Toppert.
Yeah.
Doesn't necessarily appear like a whole lot. And then Larry and Rashid basically are just out here. I would say getting cardio, but they're not really doing that.
Right.
Just sitting there.
Rasheed Wallace text Penny asking him for a login to watch the game on Hulu last night. The game tonight. What time, big bro? Oh man, shoot me a login.
There you go. What
shoot
time,
me that Hulu,
big bro?
Shoot me that Hulu login.
I mean, I got that. I got this. You got ESPN Plus? It's ESPN Plus.
No, I ain't got that, man. You got Hulu?
No,
yeah. Use his login, Rasheed. All right, say it. I'm going to go and watch that jump.
Doing all that over Penny. He at Penny House doing this. Penny, what you got in your refrigerator, Penny?
That man said, "What time of the game? 6. I'm about to go. Come down there." No, man, we at UCF. Oh, my bad. My bad. What's it?
My bad. I'm gonna watch it on TV though. I got right here.
I think my girl got Hulu. Hold on.
Let me go check. I got this new Fire Stick. Somebody got me a Fire Stick. Yeah. It's unlocked. Hey, let me see if I get that. Okay.
Man.
This thing got Hulu?
So ridiculous, bro. Bro, this is supposed to be that year, man. Because when he hired Larry Brown, when he hired Rasheed Wallace, I was like, okay, this is a flex. Because you still don't have any assistant coaches on this bench, but hey, we're gonna ride with it. And then when I started seeing this crap, I'm like, oh man, you should have hired I don't know.
Verdi Sales.
Somebody.
You should have went and got Verdi Sales. Coach Horton from Whitehaven.
Right. Somebody, bro. Good God. What's Coach JJ doing? We'll go put that man back on the bench.
Oh my God.
At least the Lion was humming last year with JJ on the bench. Bro, I can't deal with this, man. It's sad, bro.
We'll come back. We'll talk to Rob Fisher. The Grizzlies, let's
change the mood.
That's happier. That's happier time. Good promotion tonight. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about John Morant, the All-Star voting. We'll talk about Double Play of the Week. All that stuff. We'll do that. We continue here. Sad, man. Real Sports Talk. Sports 56. 98.5.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wolo and Friends, presented by Homer Skelton Hyundai. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11 here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Nothing says Happy New Year like getting the SUV, car, or truck you want to drive into 2022. Everything you want is here at the new Auto Universe Germantown. Have you heard about this? Nothing but the best. The finest vehicles you'll see in one place anywhere. Make it to the lot and showroom on Winchester just off 385. Auto Universe is a lot full of luxury automobiles like Lexus, Infiniti, Audi, Jeep, Mercedes, Nissan, Honda, Chevy, Toyota. And get this, no haggle pricing. If you're looking for a slightly driven, previously loved pre-owned vehicle, you got to see these at Auto Universe Germantown, and they tell me they're adding more by the hour. Or go to eautouniverse.com. Happy New Year from their family to yours. The only dealership you'll ever need. Unbelievable selection, simplified financing, top service technicians, even collision repair. Everything you want in one place. It's at 7300 Winchester, just off 385. Only the best make it here to Auto Universe Germantown. That's eautouniverse.com.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive save over $700 on average, and those savings add up. Imagine what you could buy in the future.
So yeah, I used the savings from switching to Progressive 50 years ago to finally buy my dream car. It's a self-driving flying car, but we just say self-flying now. Because it's the future, and cars fly in the future.
So switch to Progressive and save big, because those savings can add up in the future. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. National annual average insurance savings by new customer surveyed who saved with Progressive in 2020. Potential savings will vary.
Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
I'm Brian Elder, 867-0303. Hurricane season is upon us. Is your roof ready? Are your shingles laying down and sealed properly? Call me right now, 867-0303. They say you get what you pay for. That's why my opinion is free. Maybe you've got years of life left in your roof. If so, I'll tell you that. But if I find storm damage or a compromised roof system, I'll lay out some options for you. Don't let them tell you it needs to be replaced if it only needs a repair. Call me, 867-0303. Has your insurance company already seen it and rejected your claim? Maybe they're correct. Most of the time, they're not. They do tend to become more reasonable once I get involved, though. 867-0303. I'll measure your roof from outer space or BrianElderRoofing.com.
Call 867-0303. Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
I'm with John Burgos in the alley at the world-famous Rendezvous. John, it's so good to see you. How are things at the restaurant?
Thank you, Brett. We are here and we're making it. I have to say a big thank you to all of our customers that ordered food during the curbside days, bought gift certificate when times were slow, ordered food to be shipped from our shipping kitchen, and then came back down to eat when our doors reopened. We owe a debt to the Memphis and surrounding community for supporting us when we need it. I hope y'all all come eat some barbecue with us, but I also hope you'll support our local restaurants. And if your service is a little slow or an item isn't on the menu that you enjoy, cut them a little slack. Hopefully it'll be there soon.
Thank you, John. We appreciate you for feeding all of us, and we will take that advice to heart.
Brett, we also have a new twist at the Rendezvous. We now have outdoor dining. It's in the side alley along the Rendezvous, not the one in the front. And depending on the weather and depending on staffing, please call ahead to make sure we're open. And we hope it becomes a mainstay here at the Rendezvous.
Mr. Charlie Burgos' world-famous Rendezvous in the alley in downtown Memphis.
Listen Sundays at 11 a.m. to join Idlewild Presbyterian Church for worship. Idlewild is a PCUSA church located in Midtown Memphis.
Now, back to Sports 56 Grind Time. Here once again are Peter Edmiston and Anthony Sane.
That's what I was looking for. There you go, baby. I don't normally come with the same jams back-to-back weeks, but I needed something to get him out of his seat, and I think I did it. There you go.
I think Anthony Sane needed this.
There we go. I definitely think he needed this.
Saints needed
there we go. I think I knew what he needed to kind of. There we go. He's back. He's back, Nice to see I can infuse some life into you fellas. There you go.
Hey, y'all gonna stop adding me about this. Y'all gonna stop adding me about this John Morant hashtag All-Star stuff. So get your facts straight, man.
Oh yeah, speaking of All-Star, votes count for 2 today. Absolutely.
Today.
And let me clarify this on the air too, man. I just double-checked the website. There's been a lot of confusion. Common sense should tell you one thing though. There are several ways to vote for players. Twitter is one of them. My 42-year-old ass can be the one that had to explain this to you kids. But you hashtag NBA All-Star, then you can hashtag the player's name, first name, last name, together, no spaces. Or you can @ them. Common sense to tell you that if you're actually putting a legit, verified NBA Twitter handle, that vote should count. I should have to explain that to you.
They still going to Hibbett trying to vote.
I can explain that to you. I should have to, I mean. But every day I get somebody, oh, man, you know your vote actually doesn't count because you got to put your first name. Man, shut up.
Was that John Harden?
Man, shut up. Look at y'all, man.
Man, your vote doesn't count, man.
Yeah, your vote really doesn't even count, bro.
Come on, bro.
Yeah, it does, man. If you @ the player, it's the same thing as the hashtag John Morant. Because common sense tells you that definitely counts because you can misspell somebody's name. But anyway, all right, bro.
All right, let's talk to Rob Fisher. Come on,
Rob.
Our good friend Rob Fisher, who is joining us now. He's far less busy this week than he has been in previous weeks. Now that the broadcast crew is back from COVID isolation and all that stuff. So I'm happy for that. In addition to that, unlike the Tigers, you got a lot of great news lately to report on. Fish, tell us. I mean, before we talk about the John Morant stuff and all that, just the atmosphere of the game on Tuesday. I don't remember a January game that's as good as that one. I don't remember, the build up and the hype and living up to the hype like that. That was special, man.
Well, I'll tell you what, Peter, and I know you tweeted it out that night that this is the most fun Grizzlies team that we've ever had, and I think it's true. I mean, it's not hyperbole. It's not the latest is the greatest. It is. I mean, grit and grind was great for us. We loved it because that's how we won. That's how we won games. That was our identity. We had to be different than other teams to be successful because we weren't going to get the superstar. We weren't going to get the big-time free agent. So we had to be a different type of team. We had to have a niche that made us successful. And we did. And it was fun. And we loved it. And it was an amazing run. this is different, man, because Grizzlies play like the NBA is played today. They're on par with everybody else in the league. It's not because they do something different, not because they have a niche, not because they're grit and grind. It's because they can go toe-to-toe with anybody in the league, and they have a superstar leading the way. It is the most fun. There's no doubt in my mind, and it's because we have a player that's like something we've never had before.
Rob, do you feel kind of – because I know I do, Rob. Do you feel kind of guilty when you say things like, these kids are about to be better than what Grit and Grind was? Do you feel kind of bad when you say that? Because you say it, right?
No, I don't feel bad, only because it's just different. I mean, Grit and Grind and that run of the Grizzlies and the success of that team, it is what it is. And it was beautiful, and it was great basketball, and they put the Grizzlies on the map, and, you know, they're the ones that made this organization rise to the top, and will always forever be grateful and love that era, and love Debo just trading blows with guys, and love Marc Gasol just playing steady, and Mike Conley doing his thing, and Tony Allen being on the floor yelling first team. I mean, it was a different era. Mm-hmm. This era is completely different. And so I don't think we need to compare them. Let's just talk about them in separate ways. You know, it's its own thing, and it's different. But, man, this is unlike anything we've ever had. I mean, this national attention that the team is getting, the national attention that one guy on the team is getting, this is different, man. And we've talked about it all season long, and we've talked about it really the last 2 years. This guy is a organizational changer. And he is, and he's a superstar. We've had great players. We've had great players that we love and that we'll forever love, and guys whose numbers will go up in the rafters. We've never had a superstar like we have right now. We haven't. And it's different, man. It's different. It's something that we need to get used to. I mean, being third in the West, you know, this is no longer, we're ahead of schedule. The rebuild is ahead of schedule. They're contenders, and we need to get used to it because this is a fun ride to be a part of right now and enjoy every minute of it.
Well, and the on top of that, you know, the idea that you're looking at now, I think Ja Morant, after today, has to be considered the favorite to start. He gained basically 1 million votes between the first set of numbers and the set that was released today. So in the last week, he's gotten 1 million votes, which is
no thanks to Justin Timberlake.
Eventually thanks to Justin Timberlake. After about 10 tries, he figured out some sort of a hashtag or something. It would never looked like an older man than him. Let me get this dang old hashtag right.
That had to be the oldest he's ever felt, no doubt.
That was like Paul Pierce posting that picture of a rocket instead of the emoji, just like, oh boy, oh Lord. But it's. I think Fish. Would you agree at this point now because of the way the hype that's absolutely unprecedented? I don't want to hear anybody talk about how Memphis doesn't get talked about again nationally, because that's the only thing that's getting talked about nationally is Memphis right now.
Yes.
Do you think he's now the favorite to be the starter?
Yes, absolutely. Because I think the stretch he's on right now. This Grizzlies, as far as Ja's concerned, and as far as the All-Star game is concerned, this stretch of games could not have come at a better time. I mean, you're talking about mid-January, having a 10-game win streak with him playing at an MVP level, winning Conference Player of the Week in consecutive weeks. Yeah, I mean, media-wise, player-wise, peer-wise, when those votes come into existence, he's probably at the top. So, yeah, I think he's going to be an all-star starter, and I think it just continues to gain momentum, and what he's done has made it worthy. I think timing is a big part of it. You know, if the all-star voting came out when the Grizzlies were 10-11 before Ja got hurt, he'd get consideration, and maybe he'd make the team. But because of the timing now, what he's doing, what the team is doing, his flair for the dramatic, his highlight reel night in and night out, all of those things together will make him an all-star starter. No doubt in my mind. And, I mean, his highlights are everywhere. And the thing is, he's doing these highlights against the Lakers, so you know it's going to be seen. He's doing it against Brooklyn, so you know it's going to be seen. He did it against the Warriors, so you know it's going to be seen. I mean, he's doing it on a high stage against high-profile teams, high-profile players, and he's going to get another opportunity tomorrow night when the Grizzlies take on the Mavericks, with that game being nationally televised on ESPN, going against the guy that he's neck and neck with as far as the voting's concerned, with Luka Doncic. So tomorrow's just another opportunity for him to continue to build that brand and for him to continue to sway voters his way. And I think if you're an NBA fan and you look at the All-Star game, I mean, is there a better guy in that type of atmosphere and that type of game play than John Morant?
No.
I mean, I've been saying that. Who do you want? I mean, come on, who do you want?
I keep thinking of what the show that he's going to put on, because not only is he one of those entertainers that when the bright lights come on, he shines the brightest. He does. And in that sort of atmosphere where it's free-flowing and you can just show what you're capable of doing, he's going to put on an unbelievable show. He's the prototypical guy to play in this type of atmosphere, in this type of game, and I can't wait. It's going to be amazing. I mean, remember the All-Stars the Grizzlies have had in the past. Marc Gasol, Zach Randolph. Well, they weren't really All-Star game type players. I mean, they were deserved All-Stars, but they're not All-Star game type of players.
No.
This guy is the epitome of All-Star type of player.
Rob, you've made your own climb. You started out the season as a pop star. You've evolved. You've evolved into something much greater, something we've never seen before in Memphis media.
That's right.
with the pull and influence that you have, what do we have to do to get? Because John's doing this thing. It's unprecedented. It's incredible. Something that's kind of going under the radar is how Jaren Jackson Jr. is putting together a real stealth, all-defensive team type season with the things he's doing. If you look at his on-off numbers, those type of things. How can you use your influence to make that a bigger national story?
I don't know. I kind of like it being a secret. You know, I kind of like it being our secret. I don't know if I want to make it national. I kind of like it just being our little deal, because I think when people look at Jaren Jackson Jr., they want to see 25 points. They want to see his ability to get to the basket, his ability to shoot threes. It's almost like that's what everybody wants to look at. But when you look at his game as a whole and the impact he makes on the floor, there's no other game that you have to point to than what we saw the other night against Golden State. He doesn't play. He plays 1 minute in the third quarter, and look what the Warriors were able to do. He plays the entire fourth quarter, and look what the Grizzlies were able to do. I mean, his impact was at an all-time high in that game against the Warriors. And was it because he was scoring a lot of points? Well, not necessarily. I mean, he had a nice fourth quarter. Scored, I think, 8 in the fourth quarter, if I'm not mistaken.
He did.
So it was
3
nice.
points,
Good
8 rebounds.
offensive. Yeah, good offensive fourth quarter. But it was his defense that just makes the difference. He is playing at an elite level defensively. His impact on the game and his impact on making winning plays is making him the value that we expected him to be. I mean, you remember early in the season when people were questioning Jaren and what he was doing on the floor, and I kept telling you guys, and we kept talking about it, give it 20 games. Give it 20 games. Let him get his legs under him. Let him come back. I mean, he hadn't played a lot of basketball in the previous 2 years. Let him get his legs under him, and let's see where he's at after 20 games. Since that 20-game mark, he's been unbelievable. Some nights, a lot of nights, he's been awesome offensively. But every night he's been great defensively. And he's done a great job of staying out of foul trouble. And really, that's the only thing that's holding him back from being a star, is being in foul trouble. And for the most part, he's done a good job of staying out of foul trouble here recently. And he's showing his ability and the impact that he can make on the floor night in and night out. He's been great. I'd like to keep it our little secret, though. We don't need anybody else even knowing about it, because when he's been playing the center, too, I mean, his ability to get to the line, his ability to get to the basket, it's been incredible. So we're seeing unicorn Jaren, and I think it's been great to watch. I think it's gone a little bit under the radar, even a little bit under the radar here in Memphis, his impact on what he's been able to do here recently.
Well, there's no question about that. I mean, and I think he's always been a little bit misunderstood, even from the very beginning when he was drafted, about what he could do and what his talents are. The thing that amazes me, though, Fish, with Jaren, Jaren's obviously part of it, Jaw's part of it, all that stuff. But I watched, like, Zaire Williams the other night defending Steph Curry, using his length really effectively to defend Steph Curry. As a kid who came out first month looked awful, one of the worst rotation players in basketball, terrible. Grizzlies really struggled because they played him. He was, that's not exaggeration. Like, one of the reasons they got off to a really bad start is they were playing him 15, 20 minutes, and they were inevitably terrible minutes. It was not a coincidence that John Morant was hurt and whatever. They were 10-2 without Ja, but they were also 10-2 without Zaire. It was a huge part of that whole situation. He comes back, and instead of getting back to whatever or being overwhelmed by what happened, he's improved incredibly, to the point where it's like, wow, this kid's starting, and you could see him he's starting to fulfill the highest expectations. I got to give a lot of credit to the culture and the team building stuff, because that's just not normal to see a kid make that level of improvement that quickly.
No, it's not. And how do you explain it? I don't know. It's hard to explain a lot of things with this team right now. Let me throw this out at you. This is a little sneak peek of our show tonight. What they've done during the last 10 games. This is the fish nugget tonight. In the last 10 games, and I'll get back to Zaire here in a second.
Write this down, folks.
But in the last 10 games, Grizzlies have had 6 different starting lineups. 6. In 10 games, they've had 6 different starting lineups. They've had 10 different players who have started. They've had 22 players who have gotten minutes. They've lost 39 man games to health and safety protocols, and they've done it with 3 different head coaches. Everybody from 1 through 22 has stepped up and been better at what they do. And for Zaire Williams, I think it's a culture thing that the coaching staff has established and that the players have established, that when you're called on, you know your role, you know what to do, you're comfortable in it, and that trust that they show you gives you confidence to do what you're capable of doing. But Zaire Williams, it's been different. I mean, he was a guy who was standing in the corner just shooting threes, and that's it. That's all he was before his injury. But since he's been back, his ability to drive to the basket, his ability to knock down the threes, not just from the corner, from out top, though, too, and his ability to pass. He's done so many different things, and he credits it to being out and being able to watch the team and kind of take notice of what he can do and where he can fit in better. So I give him credit for that. But I think it's credit to the coaches as well for also coaching him during the time that he was out of what he can do, where he can fit in. But I think it's also a credit to the coaches that the trust they put in the team. They trust everybody right now, and why not? I mean, John Concher was starting a couple of games and was amazing. And then he goes down with health and safety protocols. Killian Tilly starts and was great in that role. And then Killian one game gets in foul trouble. Jarrett Culver comes in and gets the job done. Then Zaire Williams comes off health and safety protocols. He steps in and gets the job done. It's just been a different guy every night, being able to it all goes back to what Taylor Jenkins said the day after John Morant got hurt against Atlanta. I mean, let's remember, we were 10-11, and John Morant just went down with a terrifying injury the night that it happened. When we found out it'd be 3 to 5 weeks, at least we thought, okay, if we can just hold our head above water for 3 to 5 weeks and get Ja back, we'll be okay. Well, the Grizzlies did so much more than that. And Taylor Jenkins' message to the team that day after Ja went down with the injury was very simple, and I won't forget it. He said, don't do more, just do what you do better. And I think every person on the roster has done that. I don't think anyone's tried to step out of their lane and do too many things or do too much more than what they're capable of or what they're expected to do. I think everybody's just done what they're expected to do. They've done it better. And that's 1 through however many are on the roster now. I mean, hell, I said 22 guys have gotten minutes during this 10-game streak. So 1 through 22, I think they've all done better at their jobs. And it's amazing. And I think that's a culture thing. I think it's a confidence thing. It's a winning thing. I mean, when you're winning, yeah, everything's easier and everything's better and everything's happier. So I think all of those things together have just, been the reason why the Grizzlies are on this amazing roll that they're on right now, where it feels like they're never going to lose.
Rob, something else that's kind of came up in conversation lately is the whole Tyus Jones thing. What do you do at the trade deadline? What do you do at the summer? This summer when it comes down to free agency with him. If you are Grizzlies GM, Zach Kleiman, and you're standing in front of Tyus Jones at the end of the season, let's say you decide to keep him past the deadline, you have a great season, however the playoffs turn out, etc. What is your sales pitch to Tyus Jones to get him to stay here, as opposed to taking more money somewhere else?
We're on a trajectory to win a championship. I mean, do you want to win? Do you want to be a big part of a team that can win and win it all? I mean, I think that's your angle. And if I'm Tyus Jones, I'm going to look at every opportunity I got. He's earned it. Good for him. I mean, it's amazing what he's done in the role, how he's performed, and it goes back to what Taylor Jenkins was saying. He hasn't tried to do more. He's just done what he does better. And he's been great night in and night out. When he's had to step in as a starter, when he's coming off the bench, when he's on the floor at the same time as Ja, everything he's doing right now has been wonderful. Would I love to have him for the long run and him be a guy that I can have with Ja Morant for years to come? Absolutely, I'd love to. But if you're Tyus Jones, I mean, you're a backup point guard. Is there an opportunity out there where you can start? Well, the Grizzlies can't offer that. Mm-hmm. And if there's that opportunity somewhere else and the money that comes with it, it's something he's going to have to consider and something that he might want to eventually take. I mean, maybe that's his ultimate goal, to be a starter night in and night out and do that. And if that's the case, wish him the best of luck. I think it's going to be hard for the Grizzlies to retain him because he's earned it. He's earned a good contract. And with the Grizzlies in your future, with what Jaren's getting paid, what you're going to have to pay Ja Morant, what you want to pay Desmond Bane down the road, what Dylan Brooks is being paid, how much can you afford to pay your backup point guard? I don't know if it's going to be enough. And if that's the case, best of luck to Tyus Jones. But, hey, I think your sales pitch to him is being part of a championship-building team. And if that's something that's more important to Tyus Jones, is being part of a team that could contend for a championship, well, then maybe he takes the money to stay and be a backup point guard and a guy that can be there for Ja Morant. But if not, you wouldn't blame him. And again, best of luck to him wherever he may end up. I hope it can work out. I hope they can get something done. But that's the thing we're going to have to remember going forward. Look at the Golden State Warriors in this long run that they've had. Mm-hmm. Well, they've had three guys that they've kept around for a long time. They've had a lot of other interchangeable parts. Well, that's what it's going to be for the next, handful, 5, 6, 7 years. Here are our guys, and now we got to fit in guys around them. And you're going to have guys who are on winning teams in a winning culture, who are outperforming their contracts, who are going to get bigger contracts elsewhere. That's just going to be the reality of it going forward. And you hope you can hold on to it as much as you can and hope you can hold on to a core as much as you can. But some guys are going to want the money, and some guys will cash in on the opportunity, and you can't blame them. I think the Grizzlies, the thing that they can offer that we see right now is we can offer you an opportunity to win and be a part of a championship-building organization. And, if they want to be a part of that and take less money, great. If not, wish you the best of luck, and hopefully they can go out and replace this guy.
There we go. He's Rob Fisher. Watch tonight, Valley Sports Southeast, Grizzlies, Timberwolves looking for 11 in a row. Fantastic stuff, Fish. Thank you, sir.
Gentlemen, always a pleasure. Enjoy it. Go Grizz.
There you go. Rob Fisher joining us on the program. We'll come back, wrap up hour number 1, Real Sports Talk, Sports 56.98.5.
You have opinions?
Like a splinter in your mind, driving you mad.
We want to hear them. Call or text us on the AutoZone listener line at 360-8255. That's the AutoZone listener line at 901-360-8255.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
You've heard of James Gaddis Jewelers, but have you heard what they've done lately? everything. A tremendous selection of diamonds and jewels, gold, silver, and much more. Lots of watches, tons of custom-made jewelry, fine gemstones, bracelets, necklaces, so many choices. Romantics will love the one-of-a-kind estate and vintage jewelry. James Gaddis has experts to help you with wedding and engagement rings, plus 2 repair experts for fine watches and jewelry. Layaway and financing available. James Gaddis Jewelers at 4900 Poplar.
I'm Gary York. I'm the service director at Lexus in Memphis. Our service department wants to be more than just a place where you get your oil changed. We do glass repair, windshield replacement, recalibration of your camera and sonar systems, even wheel repair, tire replacement, all the things you would expect from a luxury automotive dealer. Please check out our website. You can schedule your appointment, check out our specials, hours of operation, or if you'd like to do it in person, please reach out to one of our associates at 901-271-5199.
Simple, smooth, and every sip as easy as the last. Tito's handmade vodka tastes just as good with tap water as it does with your favorite mixer. Back in the day, Tito distilled, hand bottled, taste tested, sent to a few friends, then taste tested again to give you the finest juice around. No frills, no flavors, no fancy labels, just the good stuff. Just Tito's. For recipes, videos, and more, visit Tito'sVodka.com.
Distilled and bottled in Austin, Texas, 40% alcohol by volume, namely 80 proof, crafted to be savored responsibly.
Now, back to Sports 56 Grind Time. Here once again are Peter Edmiston and Anthony Sane.
It's going to be a lot of fun tonight again as the Grizzlies America's team continues to do their thing tonight. We'll talk more about it. Hour number 2, we'll talk about how the trade deadline is starting to maybe break apart a little bit because we had the Knicks and the Hawks making a trade. Cam Reddish heading north to New York City for, frankly, not a whole lot. And boy, the Hawks, I don't know, man.
Man,
I don't know.
We could have got in on some of that, right, y'all?
No, I'll tell you why after the break.
That's okay.
Pete said that's okay.
No, can I give a quick answer to why we won't touch a Cam Reddish type trade? Quick answer. The Grizzlies are kind of this is kind of just common sense. This ain't based on intel, but it's like the Hawks are not. The Hawks traded Cam Reddish because it's time to re him up. Like he's got to get extended this summer. I don't think the Grizzlies are trying to add new contract money with Ja's contract coming, Jaren's contracts coming. I think they're trying to be really specific about what they're doing contract-wise. Would I love Cam Reddish? Would they love Cam Reddish? Sure, but I don't think they're trying to sign Cam Reddish this summer to a deal. So
I mean, they would have. You know, they actually do have. You know, they'll have cap room this summer, but it's just a matter of how they want to use it.
How you want to spend it? Yeah, I don't think he's the dude that want to.
Waiting on the big fish.
Yeah, they're real intentional about their funds.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I don't know about the big fish, but I just think they I think they're okay. I mean, they're okay in that regard. Reddish is a good player, and I think it'll be interesting to see how he fits in New York. We come back, we'll talk more about that, about the Grizzlies tonight and the Timberwolves. We will get back into the Tigers a little bit, too, if you want to have your say on that issue. We'll talk about that as we continue here. Hour number 2, brought to you by Poultry Power, on the way from the Family Leisure Studios. Stick around.
Welcome to Triumph Auto Sales, where you'll have a great car buying experience. Triumph Auto Sales is your #1 source of quality pre-owned vehicles ranging from lease returns to new car trades, all at huge savings. Plus, Triumph has a full array of financing options to meet your needs. Find your next car online at TriumphAutoSales.com or stop in today at 4875 Elmore Road. Triumph Auto Sales will help you get the vehicle you want at the price you need and the service you deserve. For a great car and a great experience from a local and family-owned business, visit Triumph Auto Sales.
Hey, Carrie, we need that tax report by tomorrow. Hey, Bobby, get me that expenses.
For Hari's accounting firm, client growth is exponential.
I know we're a couple of accountants short.
He needs whip-smart accountants at whiplash speed.
Hey, so why aren't these receivables matching up?
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Instant Match instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Do you know one of the best things you can do for your employees or family's health? Provide Arctic Clear bottled water. Arctic Clear bottled water is your locally owned and operated bottled water provider. Arctic Clear is 100% natural spring water with free delivery and setup, dependable service, and no long-term contracts. What an easy choice. Call Jeff Manus today, 901-382-2363, or visit arctic-clear.com. Arctic Clear bottled water. Call now, 382-2363. That's 382-2363.
I'm Sheldon Rosengarten, and I'm with you, Mallory, and we're both with Mark's Bensdorf Realtors. Well, a lot of people think about buying or selling a home being as much fun as having root canal. We can tell you that if you go about it the right way, it's like winning the lottery.
That's right, Sheldon. If you prepare prior to your home search or home sale, which includes using us as your agents, you'll feel like you've accomplished every objective you set out to attain, and you've won the lottery.
If you value experience and knowledge and rely upon those that can guide you to a successful conclusion, there's no better call to make than to us. Even after talking to 2 to 3 other real estate brokers, most people come back to us because their friends have told them that when you want the job done, call Shell Done.
Or Mallory Moves Memphis in whatever part of town you're in.
Call or email me at 483-0546 or memphisrelocate.com.
Or you can reach me, Hugh Mallory, at 497-9756.
That's Shell Done Rosengarten at memphisrelocate.com or 483-0546. Do it now so you can win the lottery.
Belly Acres' motto is City-Fied Farm Fresh. The goal is simple: provide a fun, unique farm-to-table experience for the whole family. 2 great locations, Regalia at 6130 Poplar and in Overton Square at 2102 Trimble Place. Overton Square hours Sunday through Thursday 11A to 9P, Friday and Saturday 11A to 10P. Regalia Sunday through Thursday 10:30 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Friday and Saturday 10:30 a.m. to 11 p.m. Signature burgers are made from 100% grass-fed beef. Sandwiches, salads, and the best milkshakes anywhere. The burgers, so good, like the Dare Ya or the Double Dare Ya, and the melt in your mouth. And you have to try the Voodoo Moo Moo. It is the quality brand the Belly Acres team has developed using grass-fed beef with creative homemade toppings in a fun farm setting right here in the city. The goal at Belly Acres, to become even more sustainable as they grow. In Overton Square and in Regalia, the very best quality available in Memphis, burger shakes and smiles at Belly Acres.
We are Sports 56 WHBQ Memphis and W253DF Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Now, back to Sports 56 Grind Time. This hour is brought to you by Poultry Power. Here once again are Peter Edmiston and Anthony Sane.
I want you to remember me, but the dead don't have no memory. I'm coming. Nobody can stop me. Nobody.
Yeah. Hour number 2 presented by Poultry Power here already. We've worked hard to just try to get past what happened last night for the Tigers. Yeah. We're doing our best here, guys.
Trying to ignore it.
I mean, we didn't ignore it, but we just
have to coexist with it. Kind of like COVID, man. You gotta have to live with life, coexist with the Tigers being awful.
You gotta accept. You gotta accept it's where you are, man. It's just where you are.
This is what it is.
Sad but true. Hour number 2 is here as we continue with the program. We're going to be joined by our buddy Dustin Starr coming up here in about half hour or so. I think that's just kind of where things are with Dustin right now. We mentioned before the break, of course, we're talking a whole bunch about the Grizzlies and their situation tonight against the Timberwolves. Pretty good Timberwolves team, playing a lot better. Anthony Edwards is playing like a potential all-star. Karl Anthony Towns is still capable of big things. Although I don't know, he's the most just blah sort of star, but still, I mean, he's very good. Don't get me wrong. He's a blah. But we mentioned that trade, and I don't know that it's going to open up the rest of the trade market, but it's certainly a big trade that happened with the Knicks sending. This is an interesting move for the Knicks. If they send a protected 2022 first round pick. It's the Hornets' first round pick that is lottery protected, along with Kevin Knox.
Yeah.
Who, Kevin Knox?
Oh yeah.
So what now? Say it again.
I think Kevin Knox will eventually be a pretty good off the bench rotational player.
Dude, terrible.
I know. Right now he is, but I like what I saw at Kentucky.
How much longer do you want? How much longer do you want?
It's like year 4.
Year 4. I know he's in year 4. I know.
I ain't gonna lie, man. The Knicks screwed up a lot of dudes, man.
Kevin Knox is gonna be out of the league. That's where he'll be a tremendous rotation player in the. He'll be a great rotation player in the G League or in the Philippines or something. But I don't think he's going to be doing
Brandon
much.
Knight, 36.
I don't think he's going to be doing. I don't know why. What in the world you're talking about?
I like Knox though. I like him.
Why? What do you like about him? He's bad defensively. He's bad offensively. He doesn't really play. He's a 4 that doesn't do anything. I can't.
No, Dan, we're not doing that. Not doing that at all.
I can't get behind that, Derek.
I like Knox.
I can't get behind that.
I like him.
I know. I don't know. Do you like him personally? I mean, that's what it appears to be. There's nothing about his game.
Nothing about his game
that you should like
likable,
at all.
So I don't understand what you're talking about. But anyway, so he's going over there. Kevin Knox, player who's played 83 minutes all of this year, but Darian likes him. So there you go. He's going to New York or he's going to Atlanta. Along with a lottery-protected Hornets pick in exchange for Cam Reddish. And we talked about it going into the break about why they would do this. One of the biggest reasons why they would do this is because of money and the fact that Cam Reddish, they are going to have to pay him next offseason. And he's looking at a pretty good-sized contract. He's in year 3. He has improved. There's still a lot of work that needs to be done with Cam Reddish, but he has gotten a bit better this year. The numbers don't really show it, certainly not his advanced numbers, which are still pretty bad, but at 6'8", 22, long, athletic, good defensive player, that's the kind of guy that I think Tom Thibodeau, and I think the Knicks, you would see the Knicks have some reasonable advantages with. I think you would see the Knicks be able to use. I think he's a good player, and I don't think the Knicks paid a big heavy price for him either. So if it all works out well in New York, then I mean
they'll have all 3 Duke players, says Mr. Sam.
Oh yeah, it's happening.
Yeah. It could. I mean, you throw Zion in there, and that's they're reuniting that team. So between R.J. Barrett and Reddish and Zion, yeah, it could happen.
The new big 3.
Let's not go crazy, but the new 3.
4.
How about that? Not 4, 3. Anyway, I don't know. I'm surprised the Knicks got him. And the Hawks, what I know y'all don't want to pay him, but what are y'all doing?
Yeah, this is weird.
Could have gotten better. Could have got a little more value.
I'm ecstatic that the Hawks are doing this. So consider me not.
This is kind of Anthony Sain's revenge between the Pelicans doing what they're doing and the Hawks doing what they're doing.
Yeah,
this is the Anthony Sain revenge.
I don't think y'all understand
here, for sure.
Yeah, I don't think I understand how. I don't think I understand
the vitriol you have towards them.
Man, this is great, man. This is really great.
Well, Atlanta continues to put people on the table too. Jake Fisher of Bleacher Report says everyone is available except Trae Young and Clint Capella. So, John Collins, you got excited about that run and all that stuff. Well, yeah, now you could be making a move. All those things are out there. So. It is it's really interesting to see how things can change quickly. It's a good lesson for the Grizzlies too, that you have to always mind your P's and Q's, and keep everything together, keep everything copacetic, because things do change pretty quickly.
Yep.
The Hawks went from one of the hottest teams and one of the biggest stars and blah 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 to right now really struggling.
Bored because it's not playoff time.
Yeah. So you got to continue to. Keep pressuring and keep working hard and keep pushing yourself and all that. But nonetheless, what a crazy turn of events it has been. Now the question becomes, and we talked a little bit about it yesterday. I want to get back into it briefly today. With the Grizzlies, because I've heard a lot of people just discussing, trade deadline in the Grizzlies, and it is coming up here in the next, 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks. So things are gonna be rumored and discussed. We've talked about it before. The Grizzlies don't typically have the MO of re-signing super veteran type guys. They tend to be, emphasizing the young core, and they tend to have their own timeline. Independent of how well the team is playing or what the team's doing or anything else, they tend to believe that they know what their timeline is more than anybody else. So they're not going to get pressured into going artificially quickly when they don't really believe that that's the case, when they don't really believe that that's something that they should be doing. So that's the reason why I just kind of I'm really intrigued by the next 2 weeks for the Grizzlies, because they have, if you look at their asset pool, if you look at what they actually have, they are one of the best positioned teams in the entire NBA to do something. They really are, out of all the teams that are out there, they are perfectly positioned, honestly. They have Kyle Anderson, who's expiring contract, $10 million. So a nice number that you can fit in a number of different ways.
Yep.
Tyus Jones, expiring contract, $7.5 million. Jarrett Culver, expiring contract, $6 million. Between those three guys, you can plump those three together and get into the star level player category. All of them expiring. So, no big deal there in terms of long-term stuff. The Grizzlies, as we've talked about before, also have quite a few first-round picks, including 3 this year. Utah's pick. Shout out to Utah, by the way, losing by 20 to the Cavs last night. The Grizzlies now in independent third place in the Western Conference. Grizzlies have their own first-round pick, and they have the Lakers' first-round pick, and Lakers with a terrible loss to the Kings yesterday as well. So those are 3 picks saying that are the Grizzlies pick is by far the worst of the bunch, or right there, the Grizzlies and the Jazz pick. Those two are like, in the mid-20s, but that Laker pick is looking, halfway tasty right about now.
Yeah.
And, so that's 3 first-round picks, at least one of them pretty solid first-round pick at that. To go along with those, they've also got young players, theoretically, because they have so many good talents. You could certainly talk to a guy like Xavier Tillman, who's not a bad player. He's on a small contract, has shown very well. Nice little add-in for a deal. You could look at a Conchar, who's done some nice things in his minutes. If you want to go crazy, you could look at a Melton or a Brandon Clark, even if you were really going for a super big time deal. Those guys as add-ins. And then you've got Dylan Brooks and Desmond Bane as kind of your top-level guys that you probably could see as potentially tradable. I don't think Jaren or Ja would be tradable under any circumstances. You combine all those things, Anthony saying,
you might can pull something sick off.
There's a lot to work with. And the Grizzlies don't usually let opportunities where they have a lot to work with just go by the wayside.
Because you said the key thing, like we can't make the mistake of assuming that they're going to, assuming we know what they're going to do. You know what I mean? Because history has shown that, they may be on a totally different timeline than what we see this team as being. You know what I mean? It could be on 2 totally different sides. So as far as trade, and they've done it every year, man. Every year they've done something where you think they're heading in one direction, then they do something to say, it's not quite how we want it. Let's dial this back a little bit for the greater good or the bigger picture. So who knows, man? Trade deadline's coming up. We'll see. You know what I mean? So.
Well, but my question is, I don't want the we'll see. We will see. Obviously, we will see.
What you want me to
That's
say?
That's not what I didn't say. Will we see? Anthony's saying yes. We will see. Like everyone's like, oh, it'll be interesting to see. Yes, it will be interesting to see, but that's not interesting to say. What I'm asking you is,
okay.
Do you think that their timeline is the same as your timeline? Do you
think it is.
That this team is willing to forego all of these assets in order to push the chips in this year and continue to bring this team forward? Or do you think that they're going to say, look, hey, you know what? I know y'all we're doing great right now. We're way ahead of schedule.
Right.
But by the same token, I don't think we're going to win a championship, and we can go get player X or we can go get asset X. We have too much here. We just can't let it go.
I think it depends, bro. I think it depends. Like if there's a deal out there that gets you that next piece, they're going to do it, regardless of what they think they are. But I think more than likely that guy may not be out there, so they'll just ride with what they have. Because like I said, man, I would not be surprised if they add 2 more rookies to this team. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't make any sense if they did that again, but I wouldn't be surprised if they did. I think about this every day too, bro. And where I'm at with it changes all the time.
If you go that route, wouldn't they have to be bigs? You wouldn't go guards, right?
Me personally, I would try to find a versatile guy who can play the 4 or the 3, who could be beside Jaren for the next 6, 7, 8 years. If Jaren's going to be your 5, I would go get a guy that could be a super versatile 4-3, a better version of Kyle Anderson, who can defend wings, who can defend fours. That's what I would go after. But that guy might not be out there. Or you might not want to pay the price for that guy. And they may have it set in their mind, yeah, we're about to go draft that dude. You know what I mean? Like, I can see that too, man. I can see them saying, hey, we're just going to go draft what we need this summer because we've done it every year. So, I don't know.
Yeah, it's a tough one. It's tougher than you think. I think most teams, generally aren't in the position where the Grizzlies are. But the other reason I bring this up is because I'm trying to think as big a picture as I can think, and I think that's what Zach Kleiman and the Grizzlies are doing as well. And I think you can look back at some teams historically where we thought, wow, they've got a ton of really good young players, and they just kind of stagnated.
Yep.
The Boston Celtics being the most obvious example of that. Look at how many trade assets they had at one point. Now, what happened? Did they ever use those assets? No,
nope.
They never used those assets. The Celtics, every now and then they tried a couple things, but they never really pushed all the chips in to go and do some things that they could have done. Could they have gone and got Anthony Davis? Maybe. Could they have gone and gotten Paul George? Maybe. There are a lot of things they could have done. They didn't do any of it, and they ended up stagnating, and now they're at 500 with a bunch of picks that they were sort of in the moderate range that they kind of blew, that those players have no value now. What's on their roster that really has value apart from Jason Tatum or Jaylen Brown? So they're in a pretty bad position having had a ton of assets to work with. And you thought a bunch of young players, young team, all that. Look at the Denver Nuggets, another team that's done phenomenally well, has an MVP. In Nikola Jokic, playing great in many respects. Bunch of young players. But have they really gotten over that hump? They got to one Western Conference Finals, and then that's been pretty much it. And if you look at their roster now, again, they've got a lot of injury issues, but it's not – you saw a team like Phoenix was able to just kind of zoom right past them.
Yeah.
I say all that because it's pretty fleeting. What at one point looks like a great roster – within a year's time can look like, wow, these are a bunch of crap. Look at the Hawks. Same kind of thing.
Yep.
Tons of great young talent, all this stuff, blah, 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 right? Well, now they're like, they all kind of are bored and they don't want to play well, and then now everyone's struggling, and they are, out of barely in the playoff picture, and everyone's tradable. Like, it happens quick. So I would say to Grizzly fans, and I'm sure that this is what Zach Kleiman and the front office is thinking about, it all looks great now. It's no guarantee. And at some point, you gotta if you've got these assets and you don't take advantage of them, you have to assume that you're not going to take advantage of them and that you're just going to sacrifice them because they won't have this kind of value again. They just won't.
No, you got to capitalize on it for sure, man. I
told you the hardest thing in the world, man. The hardest thing in the world is to go from being like the good young group with all the potential in the world to actually being a championship contender.
Because even with that young Golden State Warriors team, when they had Steph, Clay, Draymond, they rolled the dice and they went and got Andre Iguodala, who at the time was one of the top perimeter defenders, wing, small forwards in the league. Former All-Star. They went and got that dude. You know what I mean? So.
Yep. Everyone did.
He may or may not have been a missing piece, but we don't know if they had kept that Cam Reddish. They had kept.
I mean, look at the Bucks. Look at the Bucks pushing everything in to go get Drew Holiday to go. It's
right.
You
got to make that decision, man. We don't know if what's his name, Harrison Barnes. We don't know if they still would have been won if they had kept Harrison Barnes, who was their young guy that they coveted, as opposed to going to get an Andre Iguodala. We don't know, but we saw what did work. You know what I mean? So. It's interesting, man.
So that's why I think this is really fascinating because it would be unlike them. I think it would be unlike them to just sit still even if they do, and it doesn't mean that they don't value the chemistry they have. I'm sure they do. I'm sure the threshold for a trade is a little bit higher, maybe a lot higher than it would have been, 2 weeks ago because of all this trading stuff or because of all this winning. But I still think they are pretty clear-eyed as an organization about like where they are. Yeah, I think they've done a pretty good job of kind of keeping it even keel about who's got value and who's what and all that sort of thing. So,
how much do you think it'll come down to what certain guys like Josh says, or if Josh says, "Hey, just leave this alone," or do you think that matters at all?
I don't think so yet. I don't think Ja's got. I mean, I think Ja's. They would certainly be interested in what Ja has to say, of course, but I don't think Ja's to the point where he's franchise controlling level of
he ain't far
superstar. He's going to have to get. We're going to have to get a few more years where you get to that point. But because the thing with players, just like we always talk about, and you can go to look at every single interim coach in football and basketball. Players always say, "Man, we got to keep this guy. He's done a great." And does that mean that they should? I mean, sometimes yes, sometimes no. Players don't always know. Players know more about playing than anybody else. But playing is not the same thing as coaching, and coaching is not the same thing as playing, and playing is not the same thing as team building. Those are all different skills. And, you could take all those things into consideration. But, we've seen lots of players try to be GMs, and it fails miserably. We've seen lots of players try to be coaches, and it fails miserably. These are all different skill levels. So, yeah, you take Ja's, if he has – specific opinions, absolutely. You listen and you have meetings. You talk to him. You talk to T. You talk you whatever. But that at the end of the day, you can't let that completely stop you from doing what you do, because you'll end up in a situation like Cleveland did for a long time, where LeBron controlled that franchise and left them hanging when he left. You can't no matter who the player is, you can't let them have carte blanche over your doings.
Yeah. Another question: Do you think that Dylan Brooks' injury kind of interferes with anything they may have had planned? Basically, what I'm asking is, do you think that they were considering moving Dylan, but now with him being hurt, possibly through the trade deadline, it may affect some stuff?
I mean, I don't think it's affected their willingness to move him. I mean, maybe some team is. But I don't think it's not an injury that should be hugely, affecting things. It's not one that's going to keep him out for a super long period of time. So I would imagine that if anybody wants to trade for him, that they would still want to trade for him. Maybe a little bit, but I'm doubtful. I think it is interesting to see what has happened since he's gotten injured, though. And I think it's the one thing that this has proven is that I think they knew this already, obviously, but. You have Ja, you have Jaren. Those guys are the two cornerstones, untradeable. And everybody else, sorry, Desmond Bane is probably even closer than Dylan in my mind, to that third guy. But I think everybody else, including those guys, is movable. I think replaceable. The chemistry's awesome, all that stuff. But if you're making it let me ask you this. Before we go to the break, think about this. Maybe we'll do this. Maybe we have to do this tomorrow even, but just think about it. If you did a value chart, the most valuable players to the Grizzlies long-term future, Ja is going to be 1, Jaren's going to be 2, or maybe and maybe Jaren's 1. And if you think that Jaren's, but either way, those guys are 1 and 2, probably Ja, Jaren in that order.
Right.
Who's 3 and 4 and 5? How do you rank the rest of the Grizzlies
on the team right now?
Long-term, like valuable players, like what they mean to the Grizzlies long-term.
Bane is 3.
Bane is 3.
I'm gonna throw you a curveball. Not sure the number. I'm not sure we have a 4.
I think Zaire Williams is 4.
What about Zaire?
Personally,
yeah,
I think Zaire Williams is 4.
If he potentially, yeah. But right now,
well, I mean, all this is, but the question is
okay, yeah,
is potential. You know what I mean? Like
I got you. Zaire's 40. Yeah, Zaire's 4. Zaire's ahead of Dylan because I think the guys. So
then to me that tells you that you can trade Dylan Brooks. As much as I hate to tell that, to me that doing this exercise means Dylan is tradable.
Yeah, facts.
More so than Zaire even.
I was going to say, on some levels, Zaire could have been 3 and Bain could have been 4.
Yeah, you can absolutely make this last 2-week stretch since he's arrived, since he's come back from his injury. Zaire Williams as a 6'9", 6'10", and so by some measurements, wing who can defend and shoot. That is critically valuable. Find me a championship team that doesn't have one of those guys, or 2.
Yeah, it's hard.
Or they just that's what wins. That's what wins titles these days. That's what wins it. So I would say he's at least 4th, and I think you could definitely make the argument that he's 3rd ahead of Bain. So that, to me, doing that exercise, that just means I'd be willing to move Dylan. As good as he is, as much as his mentality helps and all that stuff, yeah, I'd still be willing to move him. But I'm just really fast. I think it's a more fascinating deadline than people think, just because it's going to give us an idea of what the Grizzlies really think about their chances this year and about what they think about this group long term, which is fascinating. When we come back, we're going to talk to our buddy Dustin Starr about a little wrestling, among other things. Hopefully, Starr will be ready to go.
Yes, he is.
Like I said, he's got a little something. Oh, good. Okay, perfect. All right. So he's supposed to text me. I didn't get a text from him, so I want to make sure. But yes,
he got me, Pete.
Good. We'll talk to Starr about the world of professional wrestling when we continue here in hour number 2, presented by Poultry Power, Real Sports Talk, Sports 56.98.5.
Be sure to follow us at Sports 56 WHBQ on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube to watch live video of our shows. Stay up to date with station events and have chances to win prizes from Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
It's free furnace time. Hi, this is John Conway with Conway Services. Are you considering replacing your air conditioning system this spring? January is our slowest month of the year. Our warehouse is full and our crews are slow. So to spark business during these cold winter months, Conway Services is giving away Carrier 80% gas furnaces absolutely free with the purchase of a standard Carrier air conditioning system. That's right, purchase a Carrier air conditioning system in the month of January and get a gas furnace absolutely free. If that's not enough, we'll include an April air cleaner, a 10-year parts warranty, and a free Nest thermostat. That's up to $2,000 in savings. Plus, get your new system for as low as $139 per month, or 12 months interest-free. Now, you can do that. And you know with Conway Services, you'll be receiving our award-winning service every time. And the first 30 callers with a 10-year-old air conditioning system will come out and inspect it absolutely free.
Call 384-3511. Conway Services. Call Conway today.
Say there was a place, the perfect place for everything you need for tailgates and patios. Grills and chairs, charcoal and coolers. Everything to make a great game or a great day. That perfect place wouldn't be a warehouse. It's East Memphis Ace Hardware. Locally owned and operated at Quince and White Station, East Memphis Ace Hardware is where you'll find Benjamin Moore paints, local plants from local growers, and Black & Decker tools. Around the block, what you need in stock with people who know their tailgates. Welcome to East Memphis Ace Hardware, the home convenience store.
Saving at the Home Depot means you can do more for less. Like making your laundry and life easier with an LG wash tower that automatically detects fabric texture and load size. Enjoy savings on top-rated appliances online, in-store, or on the Home Depot app. The Home Depot. How doers get more done. U.S. only while supplies last. Valid 1/6 through 1/26/2022. Free delivery applies to orders of $396 or more.
Hi, folks. It's year-end at the Sunrise Chevy Ranch. Hundreds of new and used Chevy cars and trucks to choose from with huge savings on select models. Immediate financing available with interest rates low as 0%. A $7 million used car inventory specializing in late-model GM-certified cars and trucks, and lots of vehicles under $10,000. Financing for everyone, regardless of past credit. Save some money and end the year in style. Huge year-end savings going on now at the Sunrise Chevy Ranch, 385 in Houston, Levy, and Collierville. The best things in life may not be free, but at least they're affordable at sunrisememphis.com. Find new roads.
Now, back to Sports 56 Grind Time. This hour is brought to you by Poultry Power. Here once again are Peter Edmiston and Anthony Sane.
Come on! It's time to get the mail! Malone jumps in, dares him to come out, and then runs him down! Whoa! It's the fourth quarter, and the mailman's got the ball!
Fourth quarter, and the mailman's got the ball.
The mailman's got the ball. What sport are we playing?
This is the Bash at the Beach. Diamond Dallas Page were on tag team partners.
Yeah.
Guess the Worm and NWO Hulk Hogan.
Just one of the weirdest matches. I was really hoping that you'd go with that. They historically, I'm disappointed a little bit in you, Darian. Turn that down, please. That's a little, yeah, so Tony Schiavone's talking.
Got over the Worm. What you got, Pete?
Talking over me. Listen, I'm disappointed though because I thought you'd go with. Yesterday was a historic day. Let's see if our friend Dustin Starr knows what it is as he joins us now. Yes, it was a pivotal day for youngsters out there watching wrestling like myself on a Saturday morning. 30 years ago, yesterday, a pivotal moment happened in our sport. A moment that would literally tear someone apart and change the future. Really, the future. It's no exaggeration to say the future of professional wrestling. Sane, do you know? Star, do you know?
Mm-mm. No clue what you're talking about.
Yeah, no, I think I do. There's actually a couple of different things. First of all, what's up, guys? How are you doing today?
What's up, Dusty?
Happy Thursday. Oh, yeah. So there's a couple of different things. I know we're really close to the NWO and all that kind of stuff.
No,
but I want to say that wasn't it. I want to say that a certain tag team busted up and literally got thrown through a window at the barber
exactly
shop.
Right.
So I want to say Shawn Michaels throwing Marty Jannetty through the glass window was just so epic. Is that what it was?
That you are exactly right. 30 years ago yesterday. 30 years ago yesterday. I don't know, Anthony Sane, do you remember that? Were you watching the Rockers? Yeah. Marty Jannetty and then Shawn Michaels super kicked Marty Jannetty, then threw him through the window of the barber shop on the barbershop set where Brutus the Barber Beefcake was doing his interview scene. And one of the great commentary lines of all time, Bobby the Brain Heenan says, "He tried to jump through the glass to get away. What a coward." Oh, the brain. What a great. And from that point on, Shawn Michaels went on to be one of the greatest stars in the history of the sport. And Marty Jannetty did not. So
not so much. Yeah.
Not so much for Marty. So I just was I just 30 years, man. Makes me feel elderly at this point. But what a
sad,
phenomenal.
Man. It's kind of sad looking back at Marty Jannetty's career, though. You know, I mean, I know he did.
I know.
He did it. They tried really hard there for a little bit, and even tried to bring him back. You know, but it just never really clicked with Marty. And Shawn was the guy. Became a huge star off of that.
There's no question, Anthony Sane.
Going back to what we were talking about with the whole the Rockers splitting up with the whole Marty Jannetty and Shawn Michaels thing. The WWE and just wrestling in general still tries to get that payoff. That's a common trope where you see tag team builds momentum, they split tag team up, and then the two guys go their separate ways. One guy usually has a much better career than the other one. Don't you think it's kind of weird that they keep doing that, especially when there's not as much emphasis? Like they're not promoting the tag team division like they used to back in the day, but they're still trying to use that trope. You know what I mean? Like it seems like if you're going to do that, you should build your tag team division no more. If you're still going to try to use that as a way to promote singles guys,
to make it mean something like it did with Shawn and Marty.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know, and back then you didn't have the internet. Nobody knew it was coming. You couldn't get a dirt sheet and all that kind of stuff. So it's a whole different thing. But nowadays, I mean, like at this point, if the New Day turned on one another, I'd be like, I would hate it. I just think, you know, they've been together too long for it to happen at this point. AJ Styles and Omos, who just split up, last week, I don't think they were together long enough for us to even be mad about it.
Right.
You know, had those guys been a tag team for a couple of years and, you know, AJ was really built as that mentor and all that kind of stuff, and it would have meant more. But I don't know about you guys, but for me, it kind of went flat where they did the turn on a Monday Night Raw. I just think that the turns, we see them coming nowadays. I try to remember that when we're booking the Memphis Wrestling to where, you know, make it mean something. You know, like the Posse being big baby faces and turning. They didn't turn on each other, but turning, I think it shocked some people. So you got to try to do it where you don't see it coming. And nowadays, I believe that we look at a tag team. Like, I don't know about you guys, but AJ and Omos, when they were tagging, I knew that the only reason that they were tagging is just so they could do the turn.
Oh,
and
I mean,
back
they've
then with
abused
Shawn and Marty,
it. Oh.
Yeah, it wasn't like that when Shawn and Marty turned on one another, when Shawn turned on Marty. It meant something. It was different. So you got to figure out ways to turn these teams and turn them into singles without doing the same old thing, you know, because you kind of see it coming. I was waiting on the AJ and Omos thing.
I wasn't aware that they split them.
See, you get into my you get into my old man. This is the old man situation right here. This is where, because this is like I'm it's the same thing with my thing about, you know, rule breaking and referees and like, and actually having rules to break. You cannot have tag teams breaking up be important until you have tag teams be important. And they both, so many of the organizations have just de-emphasized tag team wrestling because they just think, well, it doesn't sell, or it's not this, or it's not that. And you're talking about, I mean, for years and years, Dustin, you remember, of course, saying you remember, like back in the day, the Rockers, they were tag teams together. They were just the tag team for going back to the AWA days, the Midnight Rockers, going back like 6-7 years straight. The Hart Foundation, before they ended up splitting up, were a tag team for 8-9 years. The Road Warriors, they were a team for their entire run together. The Rock and Roll Express were a team for decades. Midnight Express, they were a team.
They were real teams. They were real tag teams. They weren't just some people that they put together. These guys traveled together. They did everything together. They were legitimate tag teams. And nowadays, I'm trying to think, other than the New Day, and the only reason I say New Day is because they've been together so long, and I don't think they should ever turn on each other. It's kind of like Cena. Don't ever turn, because you're already past that milestone. You're going to be probably the most famous and most lovable trios in the history of professional wrestling, perhaps. You know,
if you're going to do it, it's got to be like a Hulk Hogan joins the NWO thing, where it's got to be like some cataclysmic angle or something just crazy. Because I agree, otherwise there's no point to it. Don't waste it on something that doesn't matter. Yeah.
I don't think I want to see Big E versus Kofi. I don't know that. I know it would be a great match, but those guys, it would be much more important for them to stay together. But, you know, the teams, you see them split up all the time. It's like they put them together with the whole purpose of splitting them up. And I'll tell you, in our tag division, when I put a team together, or we decide to put a team together, we don't do it just so they can turn on each other. We do it because we want to make a legitimate tag team. If it doesn't work out, okay, then we can switch them and do something else. But if we put a tag team together, man, they have to mature into a real tag team, or it means nothing if they ever split up.
Exactly.
Do you there's another tag team, the what do they call them? Randy Orton and the Bro dude. RK Bro.
RK Bro.
How do you think that whole thing ultimately ends up with those two?
Well, I thought that the only reason they did that to begin with is so Randy could RKO Matt Riddle.
Yeah, but it's been going on for like a year, though.
Oh, my gosh. We waited for the first month, like, okay, Orton's going to get him. Here comes the RKO. You know, it's like they were just trying to wait for us to forget. But I really think that the people started liking them, and they started selling T-shirts, and the RK Bro kind of caught on. So I do still think there's still a turn coming or something, but I think they just became a little more popular than what was expected. And Chad Gable and Otis won the titles on Monday. And, oh, my goodness, if you haven't seen the post that Chad Gable made about him and Otis, it is so good. It's on Instagram. But, yeah, they legitimately 1, 2, 3 in the middle of the ring pinned Randy Orton off of a power slam and won the tag team title. So I thought that was just, you know, the breakout for Gable and Otis. I love that tag team. But I think RK Bro just became a little more popular than what they anticipated. So, you know, when you're selling a bunch of T-shirts and stuff, it's easy to keep them together.
I think it's a very interesting. It's very interesting to see too. The comparison. I'm curious, Dustin, as you've talked about this on a smaller scale about different ways to monetize and stuff, and talking about doing like could you find a way to do a pay-per-view at your for the Wrestle Center, have like a Saturday night show where somebody could pay a few bucks here and there to watch it at home, in addition to coming out. Pay-per-view's always been a kind of a staple of the wrestling business, and still is to some degree. But you have WWE Network now on Peacock here in the United States, and there's no such thing as a quote unquote pay-per-view anymore, at least in the U.S. for WWE. But you have it differently for AEW, and then I think the biggest competition, UFC, and I say this because UFC's pay-per-views are on ESPN Plus, and they're going up in price to $74.99 per pay-per-view. So $74.99 per pay-per-view will be the charge. Crazy, right?
Man, yeah, I think that.
And I guess we'll see like the difference between. I just think it's a really interesting comparison, Dustin, between how WWE's doing it, where they say, you know what, you pay $10 a month or $5, whatever it is for Peacock, whatever you're paying, we're going and lump that in, and you get everything. Or you can go UFC style and say, hey, you got to pay $75 per month. It's going to cost you the better part of $1,000 a year if you want to watch our pay-per-views. Who's going to make more money?
Well, I guess it depends on the WWE numbers, right? How many subscribers they have and all that stuff. And then they're premier live events now, Peter and Anthony. They're not pay-per-views. Premier live events.
PLEs. PLEs, we call them.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. PLEs.
That's the new term that the WWE has come up with. Yeah. But yeah, so you've got UFC doing and boxing as well, doing pay-per-views. You've got WWE that has their network. Fight TV is a very popular area, along with YouTube, to where you can stream and do a live stream charge, or even it doesn't even have to be live. You could put a show on Fight, and people can buy it and watch the stream there. Yeah, there's a whole lot of different ways that you can watch now. I do think that in 2022 we'll take part in that a little bit, and then AEW is only doing like one a quarter, and so I think theirs is right around $60. So all over the board, immediately you think, wow, the WWE's got a heck of a deal. $10, you get all that stuff. And they have new content coming out all the time. So I would definitely, I think Peacock is the better deal. But, yeah, I guess it depends on who you're a fan of,
Dustin, how far do you think the big boys are away from, we're entering the metaverse where you got your Oculus virtual reality stuff and all that kind of things going on. How far do you think we are from being able to pick your seat and watch a WWE event from inside the ring, or, as far as virtual reality goes? And how far is Championship Wrestling in Memphis from jumping into this type of technology?
Oh, gosh, here we go. I thought WWE already had it set up to where they were already testing a lot of that stuff, because around ringside you can see some of those cameras and give you the 3D or whatnot. But I would imagine that WWE would probably be the first one to launch it, just because of their size and platform and everything else. But I would imagine AEW wouldn't be too far behind. And Memphis Wrestling, unfortunately, our budgets are going to be much smaller than both of those companies. So we'll probably be a little bit behind them on stuff like that.
Hey, you might have just tried it on a beta style, man. Do a kind of a hood version of it, Just
yeah,
you can do some live streaming from somebody's phone and let them just get let them get in the ring.
Hey, it's
oh man,
God.
Yeah.
Hey, don't sell yourself short, man. You never know,
No, hey, we've got fans that are asking us about video games and action figures and all kinds of stuff. So there are wrestling fans that look at us like we're on the level to where we could do that. And we, at some point, we might be able to. But, being less than a year old at this point, we got a little bit of growing to do. But we look forward to getting into some of those, I guess, the merchandise and some of the fun stuff. Like, I want to have a bobblehead day at the Wrestle Center. I think that would be a lot of fun.
Well,
There's a lot of stuff that we want to do.
I can't wait. And you guys have the big show coming up on January 30th on Sunday with Nyla Rose coming in. It's at Rhino. I mean, this is what a big show that's going to be. Saturday, the previous Saturday is going to be the Royal Rumble. I'm sure you'll be doing the Dave and Buster's thing, and then Sunday. What a fabulous time over at the Wrestle Center. How can folks get in there?
Go to championshipwrestlingmemphis.com. We have tickets on sale now. You can actually meet Nyla Rose, Rhino, and Tiger Joe. Tiger Joe is from Tiger King 2 on Netflix. I mean, his first appearance on Memphis Wrestling didn't turn out so well, so DK Paul drove him, and of course Joe's back for revenge. But that's going to be awesome. So we announced that on Sunday because we were at the Wrestle Center for our TV taping, and we had an AEW showdown. So coming up real soon on the show is Brian Cage versus Joey Janela. They tore the house down. It was really good, and we announced to those fans that Nyla would be there. So the first ever AEW Women's World Champion is going to be in the house. She'll be in action. That's January the 30th. And then also we have February the 13th. That's our anniversary. So we've got the Ring of Honor World Champion Jonathan Gresham coming in, and we're going to be making some more announcements. And I've got to tell you guys that March, we're about to start putting the tickets on sale for March. It's going to be the 6th and the 27th. I can't tell you who's coming just yet, but what I can do is I can tease you and tell you that this will be, without a doubt, the biggest signing in Memphis wrestling history. And I'm thinking back to even, the 90s and those other days of Memphis wrestling. If there was a superstar that was bigger than this guy that's coming in, and I don't think there is. So I'm going to go on record right here and tell you guys that we are signing. We have signed for March the biggest star to ever appear on Memphis television.
We talking big like name or big like them ain't big. Zion Williams.
I'm talking about
Zion Williams.
Oh, you talking basketball now? I'm talking wrestling, man.
Some big dudes.
Man, this guy can whoop
no.
Zion for sure.
Zion is this is
Josh,
he stacks Calhoun
Zion
over here. You know what I mean?
But man, it's really
I can't
exciting.
Wait. Anthony Sane level
Yeah.
of excitement here.
Yeah, there you go.
We even have some of the wrestlers reaching out to come work for us, saying, hey, we want to come see what you're doing in Memphis. Brian Cage walking through the Wrestle Center on Sunday just with his eyes wide open and just saying, man, what have you guys done here?
Yeah,
this is
dope.
really cool. I want to come back, So they're starting to see what we do. Yeah, absolutely. It shows that the hard work is paying
fantastic.
off. Capacity
Rightly so,
crowd
man.
at the
Congratulations.
Wrestle Center.
Awesome stuff. Fantastic. It's terrific. You got that coming up. Great. Just awesome. Go to championshipwrestlingmemphis.com to find out more. It is awesome. Dustin, thanks, buddy. We appreciate it.
Thank you, guys. I'll talk to you soon.
All right, bro.
Yes, indeed. Dustin Starr joining us as he does each and every Thursday. Also, every Thursday, check it out. It's NBA on TNT Payday. That's right. FanDuel Sportsbook has got you covered. It doesn't matter if you win or lose. FanDuel is giving all customers $10 back every Thursday. And guess what today is? Well, it's Thursday. Just bet a $10 or more same-game parlay on any NBA on TNT game. It's one of those things that I love to do. I love to throw in 3 or 4 different things, maybe even 5 or 6 if I'm feeling frisky. Take that money line bet, take that over-under, take that point spread. I'll bet it, roll it in, find some stuff that works out well, and you end up with a small wager that can turn into a very big victory. Allows you to kind of root for your players, even though maybe you don't want to root for the teams. And maybe tonight you want to throw in something on the Grizzlies and the Timberwolves. You want to throw Ja Morant over 30 points. Might not be a bad idea with Ja pushing as hard as he is. You can put a small bet down and win big because those odds get high, and it's a terrific time. Plus, win or lose, you're guaranteed to get $10 added to your account on NBA on TNT Thursday with FanDuel Sportsbook. It's easy. It's simple. It's all there for you, and live betting makes it even that much more fun. Check it out. It is FanDuel Sportsbook. If you're new to FanDuel, just sign up with promo code BIGHEAD to get your first bet risk-free up to $1,000. Make every moment more this NBA season with promo code BIGHEAD exclusively on the FanDuel Sportsbook app. Must be 21 and older and present in Tennessee. A bonus issue is non-withdrawable site credit that expires in 7 days. Max bonus $10. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call TN Redline 1-800-889-97 89. We have much to discuss as we continue with the program here live from the Family Leisure Studios on a beautiful, absolutely gorgeous weather-wise Thursday, Real Sports Talk Sports 56 and 98.5.
Brett Norsworthy and Gabe Kuhn drive you home with Sports Time on Sports 56. Brought to you by DeSoto Auto Sales. Weekday afternoons from 3 to 6 right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
I'm Gary York. I'm the service director at Lexus of Memphis. Our service department wants to be more than just a place where you get your oil changed. We do glass repair, windshield replacement, recalibration of your camera and sonar systems, even wheel repair, tire replacement, all the things you would expect from a luxury automotive dealer. Please check out our website. You can schedule your appointment, check out our specials, hours of operation, or if you'd like to do it in person, please reach out to one of our associates at 901-271-5199.
It's a new year. That means it's time for a floor model sale at Family Leisure. You can help Family Leisure make room for all the new 2022 products that are coming in. All floor models are priced to move right now. If it's on the floor, it's on sale. But you better hurry to get these special savings because once these floor models are gone, folks, they're gone. We're talking theater seating, massage chairs, arcades, foosball and hockey tables, all on sale. Shuffleboard tables, pool tables, they're on sale too. Plus, there's so much more on sale. And you can get New Year's deals on spas and swimming pools as well. Family Leisure needs the room for new inventory. So what's here has got to go. You can help them. The floor model sale is happening now at Family Leisure, Whitten Road at I-40, where family and fun come together. Happy New Year from our good friends at Family Leisure.
Really think about what you'd most like to have for dinner tonight. Do you feel like cooking? Do you feel like going to some chain restaurant and having the same thing some guy in Branson is having for dinner? Or would you like to treat yourself and tuck into one of the best steaks you've ever had in your life? If you picked door number 3, then you picked 117 Prime, Memphis's premier downtown dining destination. Imagine that sizzling steak, perfect steak delivered to your table. The aroma of the steak, always cooked over an open flame by the steak experts. You know what you want. You can see it. You want 117 Prime.
Now, back to Sports 56 Grind Time. This hour is brought to you by Poultry Power. Here once again are Peter Edmiston and Anthony Sane.
Tag team specialist. See, one without the other isn't any good. Oh, I knew he was going to do that. I just knew he was going to do that. He don't need Janetti. I told you that off and on. Are you kidding? What a despicable act that was. Right through the glass window of the barber shop. Janetti tried to dive through the window
to escape. He tried to dive through the window to escape. What an act of cowardice. Oh, man, he's the best. Too funny. I mean, hey, as a kid, man, the throwing through a glass went like I was like, oh my God, he killed him.
I'm just traumatized by it.
Do you remember when Jake the Snake had his snake bite Randy Savage's arm? Remember that he had him tied up and he had the cobra bite. Oh my! That was. As a kid, I'm like, no, please, no.
I love God, no.
This is too much.
It was something the Undertaker did.
The Undertaker, something about the snake, right? It was just
he stepped on his, somebody. No, it was like Yokozuna crushed it or something, man. I just felt.
Yeah, no, Earthquake saddled
it.
Yeah.
The Undertaker was petrified of it, if I'm not mistaken. The Undertaker ran from the snake, correct?
Yeah, something happened, man.
No, Yokozuna was scared of the snake.
I just thank God I wasn't a child when Bray Wyatt, the Fiend, was out, because I saw the look of fear in Gabe's face one time when Bray Wyatt came on. I was like, nah, there's no way in the crap I could have dealt with Bray Wyatt as a kid, because that mess is scary now. So I know I couldn't have did it back then.
Papa Shango was the one that got me. He was a little bit.
Oh man, everyone like vomiting and stuff. And like,
Papa Shango
spitting black blood and all this stuff.
Yeah, just nasty.
Oh man, this is woo!
Good stuff,
something
though,
else.
Pete. Good stuff.
Yeah, I'm glad. That was 30 years ago yesterday, man. Think about that.
Yes, wow.
30 years. Wow. It's just nuts. It's nuts. Is all I can say.
Yeah.
All right, so here we go. Last part of the show. Saying, you got any final thoughts on the Tigers?
Nah, man. I'm trying to forget about it. Trying to move on to bigger and better, Grizzlies versus Timberwolves tonight. Some freak, some kid is going to get a jersey.
Is that it? Is that it for the season?
Yeah, they're done, man. They're not making the tournament. How? We expect a team they can barely beat. I don't think have they won a game on the road at all this year?
Yeah, they went to they beat Wichita.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Yeah, we really think they're going to win the whole tournament now? Stop.
Wichita, by the way, just lost last night though. At
to
home
Tulane.
To Tulane. Tulane came back from 18 down to win that game. So
is Tulane good? Because they've beaten everybody.
No.
Can we just say that Tulane is good though, or is the AAC just trash?
Yeah.
Because Houston's got two guys. Yeah.
They've won 4 of their last 5, but they lost to East Carolina in overtime.
Yeah.
They lost to College of Charleston twice. They lost to Southern. So I mean, Tulane's okay. They're not bad, but they're 4-1. I mean, they got a better record. They're ahead of the Tigers by a game in the AAC. So obviously, they
Porzingis is out Friday. Just got that update from Mark Stein
for the Tigers.
No,
he's not gonna play.
No.
Okay, so Porzingis is out. Sorry, guys. If you're expecting Kristaps Porzingis to suit up for the Tigers, he's not going to. I'm
They
afraid,
haven't.
so.
No.
Sorry about that.
We didn't give any props to the Grizzlies for maybe the dopest thing they've done in ever with the whole turn your opposing team jersey in. Kid gets a free Jaw Jam
Oh yeah,
jersey.
yeah. That's a great idea. That's a great idea.
I was going to ask you that too. Does Gabe have a visitor
come on,
jersey?
man.
Nothing.
You know I ain't about Gabe no other teams, man. Well, don't come to me like that, man. No. You know my kid ain't had no other team jersey on.
Oh, my boy has
Truly,
a Philadelphia
truly
Phillies
phenomenal.
jersey.
Sure he does.
Truly, no, it's a great idea.
Yeah,
it's
man.
a great. If you bring in your jersey tonight, if you're a kid 12 and under, bring in another player jersey. Well, I can't imagine what some of these jerseys are going to show up what they're going to be. But if you bring that jersey and you get an opportunity to you know what I mean, you can get yourself a John Morant or Jaren Jackson Jr. jersey.
And 2 tickets to the game.
And 2 tickets.
I think they start at 5 o'clock. They're starting at 5 o'clock.
It's a great idea.
It's dope, man.
I got one kid down, the other one not.
It's like the gun buyback programs. Right? Just get this dangerous stuff off the streets. You got to get this trash off the streets.
The
you know what I
dangerous
mean?
stuff off the streets.
get this off the streets. Let's get something good out there. You know, don't get this nonsense out of people's hands and stuff. So you don't need that stuff anymore.
For sure.
Don't need that.
For
Not
sure.
one bit.
The Grizzlies doing their part to raise your kids, man. Raise your kids the right way.
Doing the best they can out there. All right, we got to get out of here though. It's just, man. I feel like we've done a really good job of helping people get through this.
You were Saints therapist
still
today
sucks.
for the Tigers, Pete.
Yeah, we got through it.
It still sucks though.
Yeah, it's depressing, man. Delta Tiger basketball in my heart last night.
Forever.
A long time.
For a long time.
Four. Gabe Kuhn getting ready to come in. Former Tiger.
Sports time coming up next. Oh boy, I'm sure they're going to talk about it.
Got to.
Sorry, guys. Just sorry. That's all I can say. Hopefully the Grizzlies will win their 11th straight tonight, and we'll have some
We'll
positive
forget
things
about
to talk about tomorrow. Y'all have a good one, y'all.
I was getting my coffee today, Jose, and I heard there's a new way to get our jobs done at a price we want to pay for them. Grow profits and find new workers. Sure, boss. I downloaded the ZipCat construction app, Jose. Used the work icon, created the job description, and priced it. Yes, boss. Another contractor will buy it, and we got 3 days to accept and mutually approve the job, Jose. Sure thing. New concept. No more estimates. We control our price with ZipCat. Contractors, plumbers, electricians, etc. Find jobs listed with ZipCat. That's ZIPCAT. Download the ZipCat app now for free on the App Store and Google Play. ZipCat app, the best tool in your toolbox.
Brian Elder's Roofing Solutions.
I'm Brian Elder, 867-0303. Hurricane season is upon us. Is your roof ready? Are your shingles laying down and sealed properly? Call me right now, 867-0303. They say you get what you pay for. That's why my opinion is free. Maybe you've got years of life left in your roof. If so, I'll tell you that. But if I find storm damage or a compromised roof system, I'll lay out some options for you. Don't let them tell you it needs to be replaced if it only needs a repair. Call me, 867-0303. Has your insurance company already seen it and rejected your claim? Maybe they're correct. Most of the time, they're not. They do tend to